in the morning or, lunchtime for our time anyway. So maybe you may be able to, get something done here. But it's like I said, though, with the aggression from Vengeurr, it is one of his best maps to start off with, and it's going to be very, very tough indeed. And you can tell as well from Wolf, he'd rather ban a map he's definitely uncomfortable with rather than banning his best pick.
You got to go with what you're comfortable with. That's exactly it. And you got to take into consideration, as we've just talked about at length, right? Wolf has come into this game fresh. He's obviously watched it a lot, but it's very different to get into a server and to play the map. And it takes such a long time to get to grips, to know the angles, to just understand the flow and the dynamics. So this is going to be scary, but we're jumping into it on the Vengeurr POV. Up on that struggle already, setting the pace, setting it early, got himself a rocket, hasn't got the lightning gun, so he'll obviously be a bit wary on the mid-range. To see what Wolf is doing as well.
Yeah, just biding his time at the moment, just not playing with his food as of yet, but just trying to keep the high ground at the moment. Is showing a lot of respect for Wolf here, because he needs to get a feel out exactly what he's like as an opponent. He's already gone straight into the red room already, is now trying to back away, as Vengeurr now just going straight for the LG, just dropping down to see what he can find, picks up the Mega straight afterwards, and it's going to be a little bit of an issue here, as now Vengeurr's now pushing straight in with the LG, already done a huge chunk of damage already, and Vengeur's looking to try and finish things up, and look at that, Wolf actually gets the first initial frag and picks up the heavy.
He does indeed, as we go back to see a good old second. Although, with that first frag, we talked about slowing those down, not to slow down. He was going in aggressive, he actually fails the jump, really down and doesn't do enough damage. So once he got off the boards early, lethal, now in a bit of trouble.
Death is the only release. I will not grant you that privilege.
With Vengeurr still on 92 HP, just trying to make sure to stay alive and stand around to get the heavy, which he does do successfully here. So finish things off, and that is going to be Vengeurr with the lead here. First time in this matchup, will he be able to do it? Yes, he will, as Vengeurr now increases his lead further, 3-1.
He does indeed. Wolf though off the bat, he's not really doing it. Risky move. But this is a bit of a bait from Vengeurr. He's separation now. He's also taking down the totems as we just discussed. Able to go away now.
Be healed.
He won himself a heavy. At what cost though? He's got no pain. What's happening for him to run the map? Still Vengeurr. Just defending those totems, setting up this next Mega. Also now, what a here. It's not going to work out.
Trade comes through, so they're both the same standpoint here, but we're just going to miss a couple here, but at the moment at least manages to get away, and on this map especially, and actually well known, finishing definitely doing some justice, but the problem is the way Vengeurr's travelling around the map with some great agility and movement speed across the board. It's going to be very tough to try and stand his ground and keep on his toes here. Is now Wolf just playing it slow, just trying to play for the audio cues here, just trying to see exactly what is Vengeurr up to at the moment. Doesn't find anything as of yet, as he's just still standing his ground, just above the shoddy, just to see exactly what he can find.
Yeah, Wolf's playing a dangerous game. He's letting Vengeurr run the map. He's been caught out once again. Vengeurr, he actually leaves up that heavy, thinking Wolf is in the vicinity, so he steals it away. So whilst I said he's playing a dangerous game, he gets away with it for now. But again, this Vengeurr's just isolating him away from that crucial weapon with the lightning, and we can see him just jumping around corners, catching Wolf off guard. Here comes the peek and does some damage as well, and once again, Wolf is a bit of a sitting duck over in the corner. Vengeurr doesn't need to press too hard, giving the respect he needs, and again, keeping that distance, picking him off with the lightning gun. Just off the spawn. Look at the pressure coming out from Vengeurr. You can see it, Wolf POV here, just can't even move. Vengeurr's all in his face.
I thought to myself, well, do you know what? At least Wolf can catch him off guard. It's early. It's the first match of the day, but Vengeurr's absolutely on it at the moment. He is not mucking around here. Some great spawn kills off the bat. And Wolf now just done his own. Got some good rockets actually, so gets another frag to his name. It's only 3 behind in all fairness, and he's already put up a pretty decent fight so far.
Yeah, the score's manageable. 4 minutes gone, he's kept it to 6-3. I did feel the snowball was going to be stronger from Vengeurr. He's let a few items slip, whether that's a bit of mistiming, some respect for Wolf. Either way, he's keeping himself in this game, which is exactly what he has to do. And that will definitely fill him with some confidence moving forward. This is good. He's got the weapons he needs. He's got a rotation. He's got the item timings now. So he's setting up early for this Mega. Will Vengeurr respect that? He does. He's a little bit late and he doesn't get any damage. And here comes Wolf with the pressure. Vengeurr, though, doubles back, catches him in the air. Wolf gets away to push over towards that heavy.
Yeah, and like he said, he has the timings, but Vengeurr hasn't been left any room. He's trying to put a little bit of pressure onto these items, but still just out of reach here. But still doing a fair amount of damage there. Gets a 48 on that last rocket. It just add a little bit more to the collection here. Vengeurr's now dropping down to see if it can contest Fat Mega, but looks like he's going to be going for the light instead. Just in the meantime, Mega is still up, and you can see already Wolf is actually not playing too bad. He doesn't seem to be, in terms of his posture and his character and how he's playing this matchup, he's not panicking, he's not feeling, you know, any pressure. Just again, you know, the way he was standing his ground for that Mega. He's playing a very well-disciplined game, still trying to bait out Vengeurr as much as possible, and it's looking pretty solid here for Wolf.
It is, and he's doing the basics well. He's timing well. Once again, coming in aggressive. Got a lot of damage. Didn't get the frag, though. So he has to start from square one. Mega's coming up soon. Wolf knows when it is. That's why he's pushing in here. But just look at the damage he's doing. Yes, he lost a frag, but the damage he's done means he can contest the items. The strategy fails, obviously, if you don't get a clean frag or you don't do significant damage. But until then, it is the right approach. He's pushing in. He's taking these items. Once again, good item timing from Wolf. Pressuring Vengeurr, not letting him get away with anything. And the peak is up. But he doesn't even need it.
No, not at all. Just another one to the tally here. Dan is already now just going from the LG, trying to get top mid control, now trying to find out the whereabouts where Wolf is going to be here. Just a few predicted rockets just to see if you can find anything, but nothing as of yet here. But I will say this though, you know, you've got to remember, Vengeurr's the current world champion, you know, won QuakeCon only a few months ago. So the fact that he's able to really keep Vengeurr on guard for a lot of his items shows some clear signs, and we haven't really seen any signs of panic or, you know, any type of overextension. Yeah, sure, you know, there's a few times with the tri-bolt here and there, but he's just trying to get that damage done to really try and do something here. But now switching back, it looks like Wolf's going to take that fight and manages to engage and win that one.
Yeah, Vengeurr's struggling a little bit with Wolf's combat skill, but there you go. This might be the clean frag he needed. This is the first time really all set so far. He's got such a clean frag. Wolf coming aggressive with that super shotgun. Not doing, again, enough damage. Vengeurr will be picking this up.
Yeah, we're talking about the spiral, and it looks like it could be happening, but it looks like it's going to be stopped in its tracks. There's at least 2 occasions where it really could have spiraled out of control, but the way Wolf is contesting this heavy on the odd occasion here and there, he's done a fantastic job just to make sure to keep Vengeurr on guard at all times and not giving his items up easily. He's actually got away with it very well.
He has, but whilst we were talking and giving credit to Wolf where it's due, we have to talk about the time lethal. He's kept the scoreline manageable, but now the clock is the real challenge for Wolf. Can he get back into it? He needs a frag now, and he needs to get a clean one at that. It will be getting both. Wolf has an opportunity here to get real back into this game.
And you've got to remember, this is one of Vengeurr's best maps. We know it's known as Razy Keeps on the odd occasion, but for Vengeurr now, needs to try and establish a little bit more dominance, but you can see already Wolf bringing a lot of flair to the server here. Vengeurr on 50 HP, but look at the amount of damage he did with the Pika, just every time just utilizing it to its full ability. And again, now this is where Vengeurr could get a little bit out of control, but once again, Wolf just standing his ground, just trying to control the aggression here from Vengeurr.
Yeah, it does feel like it's a little bit too far now. There was a big opportunity there if he got the frag, but the Pika came up at the perfect time. Great utility from Vengeurr. Looks like he might even get another frag here if Wolf comes in aggressive, which he just has to at this point. There's just not enough time lethal to bide it. 6 frags the difference, a minute and a half to go. Now it's just about momentum going into deep. I think looking at this game, he performed more than admirably. You know? None of us has seen him play at this level. He's taken Vengeurr more or less to the wire, as good as he could have done. It might snowball a bit further away now, but nevertheless, this was closer than it's looking so far. And he shows all of the signs of having the right skills to play a good game on deep. You know, we saw the timing coming out. He actually out-timed Vengeurr. He had good item control, and just the weapon choice and the aggression choice was catching Vengeurr off guard, and he wasn't used to it. It made Vengeurr look uncomfortable, which is pretty unusual.
Yeah, it's something we didn't really expect from Wolf, but it's nice to see as well. And I think, yeah, a little bit of an orthodox approach. You know, a lot of times when you face against some of these players, I think Vengeurr maybe assumed on a lot of occasions when he went for some of these items and didn't expect Wolf to be contesting it with, you know, the weapons in his arsenal, which he currently had at each and every time. And yeah, and even if his combat skills, you're right though, you know, seems to be, you know, on par especially. So definitely a force to be reckoned with. And that's probably the first time we've seen the peak of this game where it doesn't really do a huge amount, but of course, the score does not reflect that, and 14-7 here. Vengeurr now just looking to try, well, you could say it's pretty much sealed the deal here already, just to add a little bit more to the scoreline now with 30 seconds left remaining. But I kind of feel like in terms of like the nerves and the jitters here, especially being in this studio environment once again, I think he's going to be okay with how he performed.
100%. He should be more than happy with how he performed. And you look at the scoreline, like I said, it's definitely closer than a 7-frag game, as it suggests. Wolf had long periods of that game when he was in control. And even when he wasn't in control, the fact that he was always challenging for the items really upset Vengeurr's rhythm. So that was good. Again, there is a lot of things that have to go right in those situations for it to happen. And Deep Embrace is even more of a snowball map. So who knows how that's going to play out. But like I said, I've seen enough in that match to suggest that Wolf can take it further. And now we move on to a map with Rail as well, meaning if he is on the back foot, he can fall back onto that utility. And again, being here over the last few days, watching these guys practice, he goes on these streaks where he could just be hitting huge amounts of rails, huge amounts of damage across the board. So if that begins to click for him, you never know, Lethal.
You never know indeed. No, it's just interesting in itself. It's like we said, I think we discussed it a little bit as well. Like, we wasn't expecting this kind of scoreline, but the fact that he got that many frags, it's going to put him in a nice comfort zone. But we saw a lot of elements of that. For example, you know, the odd occasion where he actually baited the Mega, where normally if you do get, you know, the offline kind of jitters, then yeah, it's very easy just to quickly, you know, just jump on that Mega straight away without even trying to bait it out at all. But we saw little elements here, and especially with the heavy, where I don't think Vengeurr even expected Wolf just to jump in like that and still somehow win out in those engagements, which I was a little bit surprised. And he definitely didn't have the weapons in his arsenal. And I did speak to Wolf quite a lot yesterday and this morning to see how he's feeling. And he's just like, do you know what? I haven't got any pressure. Yes, I've got a little bit to try and prove myself. But at the same time, no, it's not him. It's Vengeurr with all the pressure here. As we're just going through the picks and bans again, it will be Deep Embrace coming up next. And how do you feel about this matchup? Because, you know, for Vengeurr especially, you already know that Wolf, he said it's his best map, so at least a little bit further in his comfort zone. But for Vengeurr, though, you know, his verticality and how he performs in this match, in terms of his aerodynamics and everything else, is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, at the start of the Deep Embrace meta, if you will, we saw a lot of Keel. And for good reason. It was tanky. It could really control the high ground just due to that stack and the refragging potential. But then as the kind of the QPL developed, I felt it fell off a little bit because people were picking up these faster, more utility-based champions. We saw Athenas, we saw Strogs, we saw Rangers as Vengeurr has got, because they can set the tempo. They can really pressure the Keel. And as people began to discover new angles and understand where they should be positioning, so the lighter champ has become more valuable. And then you add another layer in terms of the slight heavy nerf as well. All of that combined to me says Keel it's a comfort pick, but I don't think it's the best pick. And so if he can slow the pace down and he can play that high ground and stop Vengeurr from getting up there, yeah, he's in with a shout. But if he doesn't, we know how powerful Vengeurr can be. Yeah, the guy can be absolutely ridiculous. Let's see if he can bring more of it, though. But Dan, I like what I'm seeing at the moment from Wolf. Honestly, I really am. But it's all about, you know, we're talking about spiraling out of control. We didn't really see that on the last map, but Deep Embrace, we could definitely see it. But I think with the kill pick from Wolf, at least it will give him a little bit more pressure when it's on to contesting the items, especially for that heavy later on here. So a little bit of a slower approach coming out. He's still got the LG and the heavy machine gun, so at least he can do a lot of damage close range, but also just try and keep his opponent at bay for as long as physically possible, and try and contest some of the weaponry as well as he pushes around. But already been railed off the get-go straight away. The first one coming up from Vengeurr. Wolf trying to hold the top ground, but already Vengeurr goes straight in with that die-off already, and now just holding the top and just waiting for him on the re. Yeah, that's definitely not the spot he needed. He's now obviously just got caught off the spawn. Vengeurr's pressuring, but has to get away. He knows how annoying, at the very least, those grenades can be. Just biding his time, and there's a clean rail.
Lovely stuff here from Vengeurr. Was wondering, or just curious to see exactly how this matchup's going to change with a rail in hand, and of course Vengeurr doing what he does best already. Holding that top mid control, realises Wolf is just flanking around from the rail, comes out with the LG, but these rails that Vengeurr's hit it too. He's going to go for another one, but doesn't clean it up in the end. But the damage has already been done here, Dan. And now looking to hit him again on the light. This is just unbearable to watch for Wolf, but Vengeur's just looking clean at the start of the day.
Oh my God. And we talk about, you know, Wolf getting into a rhythm, but now Vengeurr has started feeling himself. That's 6 rails in a row. And what is Wolf meant to do? Vengeurr with perfect timing, even checking his rail stats there. Oh. The full rocket to boot. Oh, Wolf was connected with a little bit of damage there, so he can push back off the spawns. Vengeurr has to be careful, but he's just done so much work that Wolf doesn't really know what's hit him. And I know we don't have the outlines, I know we don't have the timers, but I really enjoy watching it like this because you get to see just how amazing some of these shots are. You know, when you see the outlines, it doesn't look as great as it is when Vengeurr's barely seeing the scalp, the bald head of Keel pocking over the parapet, and he's managed to hit it time and time again. Big rocket coming out from Wolf though as we're celebrating Vengeurr's success, and now he should be able to slow it down, but not able to get up to the heavy. Being the big man, has to take the long road round, and Vengeurr just pops out with 2 rails in a row. Sets Wolf back to square one.
So he has these rails back and forth as well, just constantly smacking across the face of Wolf and just trying to do everything he can. He's only got the shoddy at the moment and he's just trying to find a way in, but I don't think there's any way into at all the way Vengeurr's playing right now. This is a completely different style of play from Vengeurr from what we saw compared to that first map on Corrupted Keep, where it was a much closer affair, but this time round it seems to be a completely different style. We're still quite early though, 3 minutes into this matchup here, but the train's still flowing here from Vengeurr, just trying to do a little bit more. But some good LG damage here from Wolf. He's not available as of yet, but he is now, so he's got to be extra cautious on the surroundings, on where the whereabouts of Vengeurr could be here, but it looks like he's just going to bide his time for now. And look at his weapons here, Daz. I haven't really got much to work with apart from that heavy machine gun. I only got a few shots with the shotty, not much with the LG. Surely at some stage, still keeping him back though, but one more rail should do it, and it looks like Vengeurr's not going to take the risk as of yet.
I mean, you don't need to. Look how much work Keel has to do now to get back into the game. As you pointed out, he doesn't have the weapons he needs to challenge Vengeurr. He's on the low ground with only hit scan, hasn't got a rail. There's no way he could do anything to Vengeurr. He's literally running around like a pincushion. Just getting picked apart by Vengeurr time and time again. And this was the worry we had, Lethal. It's just the speed difference for the Ranger, the utility difference. He could just burst up onto that high ground, lay the smackdown onto his opponent and get away with a rocket jump, all in the while taking very little damage. And when he's hitting, you know, nigh on 60–70% rail, what are you meant to do?
Rail back with 80%?
Oh yeah, sure. Thanks for the advice, mate.
Cheers, that's all right. I thought I'll just sneak that in there, but even at this point, no, just look what's going on. Vengeurr on 19 HP though after that, but still wins that last initial engagement, gets the spawn rail straight after, still able to keep themselves in it, but that first rail was so important. Of course, Wolf realizes how weak Vengeurr was, but even after that first rail, it just barely misses that last one. It's just going to bide his time in, just see if he can keep him at bay. A couple of good shots, it hits another rail. Just literally just isn't stopping here, just not letting go of the W key right now. Just constantly, the direct are just making matters worse. Vengeurr, the flick as well. And I'm sure Wolf is going to be feeling that 8-1, but not even at the halfway stage here, hitting another one back to back. And Vengeurr's just not letting up here, Dan.
Now he's feeling it up, but this is the territory where I was worried. You know, where that aggression becomes almost futile and almost a bit counterproductive, if anything, because you're throwing away frag after frag, eating damage. I don't even think I've seen Wolf use the rail, let alone have it at this point in the game. And, you know, Vengeurr's fired 20-30. 60–70% hit rate is just absolutely destroying Wolf, and it's painful for Wolf fans out there, but it's absolutely glorious for us to see Vengeurr back in action once again, showing us why he is that QuakeCon champion.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be feeling a little bit more demoralised here, as now Vengeurr just still holding his ground on a heavy, still managed to pick that up nicely after that last rail hit, but the LG now coming out strong for Vengeurr, stops him in his tracks before he even engaged to go for that mega. But Wolf is still trying to contest some of his items, but yeah, again, we spoke about before, you know, the lack of weapons in his arsenal. Also, Vengeurr just constantly on guarded. This is the form we expected from Vengeurr coming out of this, especially in the studio environment here. And Wolf now going down again, 11-1 down, 4 minutes left here. I think the curtain call is coming here for Wolf.
I think it's already, it's already down.
Halfway down.
Exactly, yeah. Because you're at that point in the game where you're so far behind that you need to make something happen, but you don't have any utility to make that happen, and you have no momentum. And so you are just throwing your body at the wall, hoping something sticks. And unfortunately for Wolf, it is Vengeurr that's doing all the sticking. It's just been absolutely joyful to watch. We thought map 1 was a real great contest start to finish. Vengeurr started, obviously got the upper edge, but this map has been another level. When as we see Wolf from now, his POV, just to see how is he going to get this comeback, because 3.5 minutes to go. I mean, what kind of chance do you have to give to someone that's brand new to the scene against the world champion?
Yeah, giving them definitely a lesson here, especially from what we've seen so far. Just completely different style. These rockets are just hitting consistently, just from some great angles here from Vengeurr. You can see Wolf is getting a little bit frustrated, just trying to be a little bit too aggressive and just going straight into those rockets of Vengeurr now. And checking to see if he's gone round light to the rail, but he hasn't as of yet. But finds him though on the heavy. This would be a good time for Vengeurr now to try and do a little bit more damage with the rockets. Almost hits him with the rail here, but realizes that, of course, the heavy is going to get picked up. Needs to back away. He is railable, and luckily for Vengeurr, he gets away, doesn't get railed, doesn't get taken down, gets the Mega straight afterwards, and he's looking a lot better as he gets behind Wolf straight away with the LG battle. 10 HP is left here, and Vengeurr does manage to get away with that somehow, some way.
Just Vengeurr things, mate. Just Vengeurr things. But this time, yeah, he's low, 40 HP, just waiting out for this heavy. Doesn't have the orb as well, but I mean, you can see Wolf struggling to get onto the high ground, and this is something we talked about again. Just the lack of capabilities to move around the map. He's such a big lad. You can't get onto the high ground. It's quite a difficult jump, particularly when it's being defended by Vengeurr, and he's trying to make this progressive push once again, but we spoke about it. This map is more than over. He's slowly get back in control, but this is the first time in 8 minutes he's had any semblance of items.
And of course, this is a best of 3, so if Wolf doesn't find at least 11 frags to keep himself in the next couple of minutes, then that's going to be his winner's bracket run over, and he will be going straight into the loser's side. And Vengeurr, of course, is just going to make sure of that, just trying to recover from that last engagement. And still, though, just shows what difference a rail makes here, Dan. And I think we assumed we would see a little bit more from Wolf, considering it was on Deep Embrace. Like, I did speak to Wolf, he did save it, like, it's one of his go-to maps especially. And he actually did better on Vengeurr's pick. But, of course, with a rail in play, what a difference this has made.
Yeah, we spoke about, the fact that Wolf had the rail at disposal. We completely ignored the proficiency of Vengeurr in that conversation, and you can see what he brings. And my biggest fear came to light, which was just the champion difference. Like, I understand Kiel from a ranked perspective, that's where Wolf's biggest practice has come from. Mainly, it's playing ranked. Obviously, there's scrims and everything else, but by and large, he's going to be a ranked player at this point. And yes, it's much better in that situation. When you go up against the best who know how to exploit the deficiencies of the champion, that's where you run into trouble. And Vengeurr has shown us exactly why a champion like Ranger is just better. He picked it first. The response from Wolf was Kiel, and unfortunately it was a big factor in the reason why he lost this game. I don't think he could have picked anything that would have won him this game, if you know what I mean, but at least made it more of a contest.
Yeah, it seems to be that 25 seconds left now is pretty much done and dusted here. I probably said at least a few minutes ago, definitely around that halfway stage here. Of course, for Wolf, it's definitely a learning experience. Quite a big one, considering what he's had to go through. Stovo just adding to the tally. But in the first matchup, though, in that first match, we have to go back to it as well. He's going to be feeling confident from that going into the loser's side as well later on today. So that's going to be GG. That's going to be a 2-0 in favour of Vengeurr. Almost hitting the 20 bomb, but it doesn't matter here. 19-2. Vengeurr's going to be pretty pleased about that. It was very dicey in that first map, but it seems to be for the second map, just a blowout.
Just a blowout, but there you go. Lovely to see. Look at those kicks on Vengeurr as well. He's flexing that Quake 1 win. But I think what I did like about Wolf's play is the fact that he has a philosophy. He likes to play aggressive. He likes to play strong, and he played to it. Start to finish, map 1 to end of map 2, he stuck to his guns. He wanted to play his tempo. Obviously,